The Whisper at the Threshold. 3 years ago, I stumbled into a nightmare that still clings to me like damp fog. I'm in the military, and back then I was stationed in Oahu, Hawaii, a place where paradise and horror collided in ways I never could have imagined. I was 22, full of reckless energy, chasing thrills in the neon-lit nights of downtown Honolulu. I'd rented a sleek, overpriced apartment just a 5-minute walk from Waikiki Beach, drawn to its proximity to the pulsing clubs and bars. The building was a fortress of modern luxury, metal scanners on the key fobs, a 24/7 security guard in the lobby, and a renowned steakhouse on the ground floor that filled the air with the scent of sizzling meat. My one-bedroom unit was cramped, the living room barely big enough for a couch, but the view of the ocean made it worth every cent. Or so I thought. It was Halloween night, 2022, and the island buzzed with festive chaos. I had a few hours to kill before the clubs filled up, so I sank into my couch, scrolling through YouTube for something to match the spooky mood. Videos of ghost sightings, cursed objects, and haunted books flickered across my screen. One caught my eye, a hushed review of a book called The Magic, a collection of short stories that promised more than chills. The reviewer claimed its first tale, The Invitation, was a ritual in disguise, a story that could summon something if you followed its steps. Intrigued, I downloaded the ebook, my tablet glowing in the dim apartment as I began to read. The story's narrator spoke directly to me, its tone intimate, almost conspiratorial. It gave precise instructions: be alone, lock the doors, turn off all lights except the one illuminating the text. I was already alone, so I complied, bolting the door and flicking off every switch. The apartment plunged into darkness, save for the pale glow of my tablet. The narrator wove a tale of ancient magic, a force that could be invited into your life if you dared. The details blurred in my memory, but certain moments burned themselves into my mind. It told me to kneel by the front door and press my ear against it. Listen, it urged. I did, and my breath caught. A faint, rhythmic sound, like breathing, came from the other side. It was slow, deliberate, not the kind of sound a tropical breeze could mimic, though I tried to convince myself it was. The narrator's voice grew insistent, asking if I could hear him. "I can hear you," it said, and a chill slithered down my spine. The story then instructed me to decipher a hidden message. I scanned the first letter of each paragraph, and they spelled out devil. My stomach twisted. The narrator's tone shifted, no longer a guide, but a presence, urging me to invite it in. "Open the door," it whispered through the text. "Let me cross the threshold." I laughed nervously, muttering, "Hell no," and snapped the tablet shut. I flipped on every light, blasted music, and jumped into the shower to shake off the creeping dread. The night was young, and I had plans. I headed to Yard House, devouring a massive burger to fuel the night ahead. The clubs were alive with costumes and laughter, but despite my best efforts, and I'm no slouch in the charm department, I struck out. A few kisses, some numbers exchanged, but no one followed me home. By 2 a.m., I was stumbling back to my apartment, a little drunk, but still buzzing from the night. As I approached the building, the lobby's glass doors gleamed under flickering lights. The front desk, usually manned by a guard, was empty. I scanned my key fob, the beep unnervingly loud in the silence. The elevator sat at the bottom floor, doors wide open, its interior lights steady, while the lobby's fluorescence sputtered. My pulse quickened. The memory of that breathing sound flooded back, and I fumbled for my phone, hitting record as I stepped into the elevator. "Just in case," I mumbled, half joking, half terrified. The elevator hummed to my floor, and I staggered to my apartment, collapsing into bed without a second thought. Morning came, the Waikiki skyline sparkling outside my window. I shuffled to the kitchen, chugging orange juice to ease my hangover. That's when I saw it, my front door, slightly ajar. I froze. I knew I'd locked it before leaving. The tropical breeze excuse felt hollow now. Over the next few weeks, strange noises plagued the apartment. Creaks in the walls, whispers in the dark. I told myself it was paranoia, that the elevator's steady lights were on a backup generator, that I'd been too drunk to close the door properly. But the unease lingered. Time passed, and I was reassigned to Japan, my first duty station years earlier. My girlfriend, Mia, joined me, leaving her mother's house in the States. She'd always said her mom dabbled in witchcraft, performing strange rituals at night. I laughed it off, calling her mom a crazy old bat, but Mia's stories took on a new weight. She swore something followed me, a shadow that clung to my presence. I brushed it off, until last night. I'm out to sea now, aboard a naval vessel, cut off from the world except for spotty messages. Last night, Mia sent a frantic Facebook message. She'd been alone in our 3-story building in Japan, on the middle floor, when a loud bang echoed through the apartment. The lights went out, plunging her into darkness. Terrified, she grabbed her phone and fled to a nearby bar owned by our Japanese friend Hiroshi. He returned with her to check the apartment, resetting the breaker to restore power. But Mia's message chilled me. The other floor's lights never flickered. Our building shares a single power source, yet only our apartment went dark. The more I think about it, the more the pieces don't fit. The breathing at the door, the empty lobby, the open elevator, the ajar door. They could be coincidences, but they pile up like stones in a cairn, marking something sinister. Mia's insistence that something follows me gnaws at my rationality. I've never been one for the supernatural, but that Halloween night feels like a hinge, a moment where I brushed against something I shouldn't have. The story's instructions were clear: invite it in. I didn't, but maybe I didn't need to. Maybe reading it, kneeling by the door, listening to that breathing, was enough to crack the threshold. When I return to shore in a week, I'll dig up the video I recorded that night. The grainy footage of the flickering lobby and the open elevator might hold answers, or nothing at all. I've tried to dismiss it, to chalk it up to a spooky night and too much booze, but the shadows feel heavier now. Mia hears footsteps in the apartment when I'm gone. Hiroshi, a man who's seen his share of strangeness, refuses to stay in our place after dark. Even here, on this ship, I catch myself glancing over my shoulder, expecting to see something in the dim corridors. The book, The Magic, sits untouched on my tablet, its digital pages locked away. I haven't dared open it again, but sometimes, late at night, I swear I hear breathing, faint and rhythmic, just beyond the walls. It's not the wind, it's not my imagination. And I can't shake the feeling that something is waiting, patient and unyielding, for me to open the door.